Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 17th. You have a great week again. I think Aries has been having some good weeks here, some good stuff coming up and some really great messages. I think, a lot of good stuff regarding love coming in here, which is nice, and a lot of, other random stuff. But the first card you have is a Joker, which I want to say Aries has had before, and it's all about juggling multiple things at once. It's all about being able to handle everything in your life. And the good news is that this is a long-term card. It's like one of those cards. The energy can last. I mean, for some of you, it can last forever. If you have Gemini anywhere in your chart, but specifically your moon, if you have a Gemini moon, I mean, this is your card, number one. But it's not. I mean, it's not necessarily your birth card, but it's definitely the card that is kind of like your superpower. But coming up for, if it's not, like I said, you have this cycle for like 6 months at least. This card sticks around, and it's the ability to handle whatever is thrown at you. It's the ability to handle a lot of chaos even in your life, and it's not chaos for you. So I mean, it's like good news. People that have this card, I always say, can have like a job, 2 businesses at home, like multiple families that they have to deal with, and other issues that they have to deal with, and it's not a lot. Which is good. It's the ability. It's like a superpower. It's the ability to handle a lot being thrown at you and not having a mental breakdown. People that don't get this card, if they were to have to deal with what this person has to deal with, absolute mental breakdown, would totally lose it. But like I said, you have this superpower. So I always tell people when they get this, take advantage of it. So if you have a business and you've been thinking about starting another one, do it. If you have a job and you've been thinking about starting a business, do it. If you've been thinking about even minor things, if you've been thinking about having another child, for example, but you've been worried if you can handle it, don't worry about it. You can definitely handle it. That's what this card represents, being able to handle a lot of stuff and not having to worry about it, because like I said, when you get this card, it's that superpower, being able to handle a lot. Next, you have the King of Hearts coming in. Interesting card to get. For some of you, actually, what I'm getting is that this is a love interest possibly coming in for you. It would be somebody who's a water sign, who's very compassionate. They would be very different. It's interesting because there's this thing between, Aries and water signs. It's some people have actually written about this, how water signs are always very attracted to Aries for some reason, even though typically it's not exactly a good match, which is not always true, of course, as you know, because sometimes the most unlikely matches, even when it comes to the zodiac stuff, will be married forever and literally never divorce, and so it's not always true because we have all this other stuff in our charts that we have to look at. But just there's this thing, like I said, I haven't read a lot about it, but between Aries and water signs, it might be interesting for you to look up. But this would be a water sign coming into your life, not necessarily male either. I don't attach sex to my cards, but it would be somebody who's very ambitious, very hardworking. And they would actually probably not be the typical water sign. That's maybe why it would be a relationship coming in for you Aries out there, because they would be more grounded as far as water signs go, and they would be more aggressive. Water signs can either be, they can kind of be more emotional and maybe less aggressive, but this guy, he would be more aggressive, not in a negative way, but just more, more forward, more aggressive in the way that they handle themselves, and, it would be a good match for sure. For those of you that are already in a relationship, this is just kind of like the energy surrounding you, which is exactly that. It's being aggressive while also being compassionate is what I'm picking up. So it's going for what you want this week in all ways, in all areas of your life, but also while being very compassionate and making sure that you're kind of, not hurting anybody in the way or anything like that. So it's just a card that asks you to do all of that. Next, you have the Ace of Hearts. Excellent card to have. Again, this is a card of your problems going away. It's a card of problems melting away, love coming in big time. Again, I'm not exactly sure on the astrology, but I know that we're going through we're entering into this, like Venus. I know Venus is retrograde, but I think in the beginning of September we enter into some Venus thing that is very good for love. So, that is definitely coming in for you. I would say for the most part, this card is really just saying that for most of you Aries out there, that a lot of your problems are going to be evening out, going away, and you're not going to have to deal with anything anymore that's maybe been bugging you or that's been an issue before. It's like good stuff coming in. To follow that up, you have the Eight of Diamonds, which is a great card to have. Again, it's about problems going away. It's about something coming into you. It's like a gift. It's a little bit different than a gift, though, because it's something that you've earned, but it's still a gift. So maybe, like, indirectly you've worked for this, like more money or something like that. So it's usually a surprise. That's the thing about this card. It's like a raise that you didn't expect, or it's, even getting a job that you didn't think you would get, or, it's somebody giving you something that you really needed, but, you didn't really expect it. But somewhere along the line, you worked for it. Whether you realize it or not, it could be karma, good karma coming back to you, something that you did for somebody else in the past, kind of like a return thing. It's always about a return. So you have that to look forward to. You have an amazing week. I mean, only positive stuff. No, nothing negative. I think you're going to have a great week this week. Thanks for watching.